A stone's throw from the ocean, the garden of a luxury hotel provides an idyllic location. Some 2,000 people are expected here to celebrate the 7th edition of Fimo228, the international festival of African fashion in Lomé, Togo. Its founder, designer Jacques Logoh, has chosen to showcase 32 stylists.
I realised that we've had excellent designers here for a long time. We have excellent models here in Lomé and also on the rest of the continent. I've travelled a lot in Africa and in Europe, so I've seen how fashion has evolved. I wondered, why not put on an event in Lomé? It's sort of a springboard for the models, but also for designers, and it also opens people's eyes to the possibilities of consuming locally. Because today, we really should be wearing local, made in Togo and made in Africa clothes.
For Jacques Logoh, the Made in Africa ideal is all about embracing difference. Daphne Melissa is a model from Gabon.
The market's understood that there's not one single version of beauty. We're all beautiful in our way, we're all different. Today there's not one type of model, we come in different shapes and sizes. Take me, I'm extremely thin, but the models from Togo are more voluptuous. But we do the same catwalks, so when people look at us, they can identify with us.
To protect the continent's sartorial savoir-faire, most of the designers invited to the event have created work out of traditional fabrics. Patricia Ouli, based in Abidjan, is a fan of an Ivorian woven fabric that she's convinced will help her to conquer American and European markets.
It might be a woven African fabric, but that doesn't mean that what we're doing is African-African. We try to bring a European touch. With the raffia, the hat, the train behind, we're not just talking about traditional African wraps, we're talking about evening dresses too. Today, everyone wants to show their identity, their cultural identity.
Janvier is a 23-year-old stylist who came first in his class at a fashion school in Lomé. 3 years later, he created his own business, Enero Fashion. He recently won a design competition launched by Vlisco, one of the biggest names in wax fabric over the past 170 years.
My mother used to buy her fabrics at Vlisco. The prints really inspire me. Working at Vlisco has been a dream since I was really young. When you see how the motifs are designed, it really pushes you to create amazing things.
And thanks to Vlisco's mentoring scheme for young West African stylists, Janvier's perfected his pitch.
What makes me special is the embroidery I do by hand, my needlepoint work in particular, and I also do a lot of work with the wax print motifs, like you can see here. I also work with Nigerian fabrics called achoke, so I bring that all together with the embroidery. I'd say those are my specialties.
The desire to combine different materials is by no means unique to women's fashion. Fiddly Usigbe was born into a family of tailors. He created his label Del Africa Fashion in Lagos, Nigeria.
The collection I have today is called Dapperman Collection. It's a combination of suits, like the jackets and the suits. And for me, I felt, okay, instead of using the contemporary international fabrics to do the suit, why not use the African prints? Like what I'm wearing right now is a combination of different prints. I love colors a lot.
Fashion festivals are also about the music, especially when the artists have a product to promote. Spirit Ananda produces her albums in Congo-Brazzaville. She also customizes imported trainers and sells them under her label Kenzie, named after her son.
Trainers are practical, you know. Women are wearing heels less and less. Trainers make sense for active women, women who have other things to think about. So you have the trainers, they're pretty, and they look good with your outfit. You can wear them with a blazer, a dress, even with a sexy dress. They really do go with everything these days.
This year, sustainability is very much a buzzword. Jennifer Rowan used to work in fast fashion in Nigeria, but then she developed an environmental conscience. Her collection for label Victoria Grace is called 50 Shades of Green.
Victoria Grace is really trying to become more of a fashion advocate, a fashion activist, and promoting sustainable fashion. So we have a lot of clothes, unwanted clothes or second-hand clothes. You know, they come from all over the world, and then they end up in landfill, or they actually end up in a special place where they are burnt. So the fashion designer has a responsibility to the environment. So what you see here are unwanted clothes. I added the African tissue to it, and I'm putting them back on the runway and sending them back into the world so that the clothes can have another life, so they don't die.
So what do those sitting on the front row make of it all?
The evening was full of beautiful colors. It was a magnificent night, which proves that Africa is brimming with amazing talent. It was great. And there was this real mix of countries, of cultures. It was a wonderful melting pot.
Bringing new life to old material while facilitating cultural cross-pollination, Lomé's International Festival of African Fashion knows how to embrace tradition, but isn't afraid of shaking things up.